Good morning and namaskar. On behalf of Indian Ice Cream Manufacturers Association, ICMA, I welcome all of you. Once again, we are back with a very important and very informative webinar on best practices and macro approach in digital marketing. I would like to introduce our guest speaker of today's webinar, Mr. Srinath Phadke. He is a brand marketer with 15 years of experience across brand strategy and communications, content strategy and production, digital marketing, and events and activation. Some of the brands that he have worked with includes Airtel, Indigo Nation, Too Yummy, Amazon, Converse India, and Daily Hunt. He was also an entrepreneur running an advertising agency for 6 years. So now, without wasting much of the time, I request Mr. Srinath Phadke to begin with his today's presentation.
Can you all see the screen? My screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, awesome. Okay. So what I'm talking today is about best practices and macro approach in digital marketing, very specifically. The reason is that I understand there are brands of different scale and different, brand identity and kind of communication, different kinds of communication, the approach to business, the distribution, all of this is different. So I've tried to, look at a macro approach and have kept the entire feel of the presentation at a more neutral level than very specific to a particular brand or, size of the business. So that's what I will be speaking about. So before I get into specifics of, giving you some kind of insights on what is possible and what needs to be done from a macro approach in digital marketing, let me just build the context here and what we are today. We are in extraordinary times today. So in marketing now, we've started talking about pre-COVID and post-COVID, like before Christ and after Christ. It's literally become like that, because market dynamics and the way consumer behavior, all these things have changed over the last 6 months. And as marketeers, I think we expect a lot of these consumer behavior to carry forward in the next coming years, or we at least expect that this will not be disrupted for at least roughly about 2 to 3 years, a bare minimum. All right. So that's what the context is. So some numbers to begin with, where we are with respect to digital marketing and what is happening today. You would be astonished that there were 293 billion emails sent per day in 2019. It's not a small number. Just imagine the scale at which digital marketing or digital is operating. There are 3.5 billion search queries on Google every day. 3.5 billion. Facebook has 2.9 billion MAU, which is monthly active users. Instagram has 1 billion monthly active users. LinkedIn has 675 billion profiles. Twitter has around 350 million monthly active users. Why am I showing you all these numbers? There's a context to it. If you look at India as a market and why everybody is talking about Indian market and why a lot of investments are coming, it's just because of the scale. We have our population average age is about 27, 28. And we have a large population, which we call Generation Z, millennials, this kind of population, which is roughly about 40% of our total population. And that's a very, very lucrative market for a lot of companies and brands, for investments, for launch of new products, launch of new flavors. In your case, launch of new flavors. I'm sure wherever you're launching a new flavor, you're looking at the sweet spot in terms of what flavor will work for this particular segment, right? Or this particular age group. So that's what the context is. And barring Twitter, all the other platforms, channel platforms, almost 20 to 30% of monthly active users and traffic and all these scales come from India. So that's the scale at which Indian ecosystem is operating when it comes to digital marketing or digital channels. Some more numbers. I think these are very, very relevant in today's times. 50% of the total world population is internet, and same percent, almost same percent is in India. I think one of the biggest things that happened over the last 4 years is Geo coming in, and that's why you see a lot of what we call over-the-top services coming because of Geo's penetration in tier 2 and tier 3 markets also. I think this is a very, very important data point for all of us here, because a lot of people now are saying that literally growth for a lot of brands and a lot of categories, growth in top 8 to 20 cities has been is really stagnant, and now the growth they can see is tier 2 and tier 3 towns, and Geo is going to play a very, very important role because of its data penetration. The second important thing is this is very, very relevant to today's times. Work from home and lockdown, people are spending about 4 to 5 hours every day on the internet. And this is true across age groups. You won't believe, my dad recently learned how to use YouTube. And now he literally spends about 4 to 5 hours listening to different kinds of music. He used to work in military engineering services and now a consultant with National Highway Authority. So he looks at all the relevant news coming for that particular sectors. So stuff like that. So it's across age group, and hence there's a lot more different kinds of customers are coming on board because of digital marketing, because of penetration by Geo, and because of data becoming very cheap, and because of work from home and people being under lockdown. The three broad themes, what is happening in today's market is for internet, work, shopping, and entertainment have become three very broad themes. Very important factor to note, which is the last point. Within shopping, I think non-discretionary spends has gone up. When I'm saying non-discretionary spends, I'm talking about essentials, home appliances, work from home accessories, white goods, and second-hand ownership. You won't believe the demand that is there for second-hand cars today. This is the non-discretionary spend that has gone up in the last cycle of lockdown, which I'm talking about roughly about. So lockdown started around March 25th, right? So post that, I think there was a cooling off period of about 15 days to 1 month. So April end, May, June, July, August, if you see the spends on all these items, and I'm sure this is happening within your homes also, because you're working from home, probably people are buying a lot of comfortable chairs, probably desktops, home appliances, because one of the things that has happened is in the last 6 months, there is literally no service available, and a lot of home appliances have cocked up. So home appliances, people are actually buying home appliances because they now envisage that they're going to spend a lot more time at home than going to office and traveling to office. So I think this whole 6 month period has disrupted the entire consumer behavior. I think that's a great starting point for us to look at digital marketing. And that's why I wanted to share this with you, that how in the next 6 months, what is going to happen. And I have a couple of slides going forward where certain kind of channels have will come in handy for advertisers to place your messaging. So I'll talk about that. But the idea is that this entire disruption that has happened in the last 6 months is going to stay for at least 2 to 3 years, and consumer behavior has definitely changed. I think that's something that we need to note. Next slide is all about what does this essentially mean to all of us here. We're here for a certain goal, right? We are here to understand what is happening in digital marketing, and this is true for everybody. But in particular, there's one very specific point. Internet consumption has gone up over the last 6 months and across geos and demographies. This is very important. Consumers have finished one cycle of non-discretionary spends, and there is a possibility of moving towards discretionary spends going forward. That one cycle of non-discretionary spend that I was talking about regarding your home appliances and buying something for work from home, that entire cycle is done. Now people are wanting to go out, spend some money, go and eat outside, look at some probably the movie theaters open, probably they might go out to watch movies, but definitely walk-ins in the malls have increased some bit of it. At least a couple of malls in Bangalore, they're seeing substantial increase. So I think people now slowly will move from non-discretionary spends to discretionary spends. And when I'm talking about discretionary spends, they're very clear-cut three categories: fashion, lifestyle, and food. This is also partly possible because of the upcoming festive season. I think this festive season is like a make or break festive season for a lot of categories and brands. However, safety will still be top of mind till vaccine is discovered. I think unanimously everybody, saying that from governments, from the central government to state government to offices. I know a lot of friends of mine have decided not to go to office till there is vaccine discovered, and they just don't want to take risk right now because it really affects their. It's not about just 15 days of quarantine, but it really affects their life for nearly 45 days. It's not just 15 days cycle; it's a 45-day cycle that people have figured. If you get COVID, then that's what happens. So I think one takeaway point in all of this is that the discretionary spends is going to go up in the next few quarters, and people are looking forward to the upcoming festive season. How is this all affecting digital marketing? Now, coming to very specifics with respect to digital marketing, I'm going to spend a little more time on this particular slide. Orders on e-commerce sites have really gone back to almost pre-COVID levels. Very simple. Two factors that are determining this entire thing is because of safety and convenience. So I have friends in Swiggy, Zomato, Dunzo, all these places, and I think the very clear-cut indication are coming that they are actually going to see a lot more growth than what it was pre-COVID level. So that's what is happening with all these order-based or e-commerce deliveries and order-based companies. A second thing that has happened and very, very important for B2C brands is that lockdown has opened up new digital entertainment and e-commerce channels. How many of you heard of Chingari and Bulbul? Anybody has heard of Chingari and Bulbul? Hello? Okay,
No,
so
sir. No.
never mind, never mind. So basically, you know TikTok is banned, right, in India. So Chingari is like the TikTok of made in India. Bulbul is again a video online shopping company. So there are a lot of new kind of formats in digital are coming up so that people can sell more and more, establish their store, open their store, and start selling immediately. So what happens in retail, the traditional retail, is that you have to rent a place, buy a place, rent or buy a place, recruit people, set up the shop. All these things happen, right? With people like Bulbul, or with, say, for example, Misho, for example. These guys, you can literally set up your online shop in like an hour's time. If you have the content, if you have the if you have the material, you can literally create a shop within a few hours. So that's what is happening. I think lockdown has opened up this sector much bigger. Also, what has happened is that today we are constrained from a digital marketing perspective. We are constrained with respect to our messaging to 3 or 4 channels, right? If you look at it, and I'm sure your marketing teams also will come back and say there is only Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. These are the 4 most famous channels. But I think what has happened is during this lockdown, there are a lot more channels that you can now look at. For example, if you have a lot of money to spend, you can look at OTT channels like Hotstar, right? Or you can look at somebody like a local, which is a local news channel. It literally gives you news in local languages. Like I think they have Marathi, Gujarati, Telugu, Kannada, Tamil. So in all these places, you can actually start advertising now. That's a big advantage of this lockdown, and that's a big advantage of what is happening today in the digital marketing ecosystem person. So you're not constrained by just to reach to your customers. You're not constrained just to use Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, right? You have much more avenues available. As I said, there is a surge of local kirana shops coming online with apps like MyDukan and Meesho. MyDukan and Meesho, and then there is Khatabook and all these guys. So they're literally helping them come online, and that's why this whole there was a inertia from local kirana shops to come online, join, and because because the way the facilities were there, stuff like that were not there probably about a year or 2 year back. It started happening in the last 1 or 2 years, but it's accelerated now because of lockdown and work from home. And people now staying back home, they don't want to go out, but they are looking at safe and convenient options, and hence all these businesses are making huge inroads into getting these local kirana shops into the digital ecosystem. So what I'm trying to do here is that just trying to give you like a very, very overarching overview, saying that, okay, now there are far more opportunities available as a brand to reach out to your customer. At the end of the day, that's what matters. So I think hence brands are trying harder to make sure digital becomes the first channel of communication and access. I think it's important that it's not just about channel of communication anymore. Because of digital, customer gets access to your product also online, right? That's very important, and I think these are the two key phrases I would want you guys to take back home: channel of communication and access. I think these are very, very key factors today when it comes to digital marketing. Uh, Anything that you want to know, or should I continue? And you probably will have questions at the end, because the next part specifically talks about what you can do specifically as a brand.
Continue. Continue.
Okay, great. I think the next slide literally defines what I want to say in the next 4 or 5 slides, or probably 6 slides. It's very, very important. I'm sure some of the products here, or some of the brands that are here today listening to this talk, might have done this, but this is a very, very vital exercise when it comes to just comes to defining your brand, and hence you're defining your consumer, and hence you're defining your channel. I'll come to that, but I think it's very important that this chart is always there. It's always there in front of you, whether you're a new start. Sorry. Whether you're a new startup or whether you are an established player, I think this is very important. Why this is important? Because you can start slotting each and every product of yours. So you can be one product company, or you can be multiple product company, but you can start slotting your products within this funnel or pyramid that what I call, because it's very important to determine. This strategy will determine the entire marketing and communication strategy for you. Say, for example, just to give you an example, so I have a fashion background, right? So there are fashion brands. Say today you're looking at Louis Philippe, right? One of the brands, one of the most famous brands, or for that matter, you're looking at an Indigo Nation, which is a youth brand. Now, both of them, even though they are fashion brands, now they are slotted at different levels in this pyramid. For example, Louis Philippe, I can actually say it's aspirational or accessible luxury, whereas a brand like Indigo Nation or Scullers is a premium brand, right? And hence my price, my quality, the kind of communication that I do for these particular brands is completely different. Look at today what is happening during the IPL, right? There is Upgrade, there is Cred, there is I think there are a couple of more brands basically that are all vying for a same audience, and this is true for everybody. Today, Hotstar Pay, you can see if you open Hotstar, roughly about 45-50 lakhs people are watching these matches every night, right? And you have the same set of brands targeting that 45 to 50 lakhs. But what makes them different is because the kind of messaging that they're giving is different from one another, and hence it makes sense for competing brands to come together and start using the same competing brands to come together and kind of play in the same space but still be different. I think that's the most important factor here. I would suggest you, whenever after this after this seminar or after this talk, spend some time, and it's a great self-learning or self-learning exercise also. See, where is my brand? What is my brand? What am I going to portray to my peer, to my customers? Where am I playing? What is it? Is my product relevant to that particular market? Is that my product relevant? That particular price is am I pricing my product at 30 rupees, but I'm showing aspirational imagery and aspirational qualities? I think if you start doing that, right, if there is a mismatch between your product, for example, I'm just taking price as a very basic example. If there is a mismatch between what you're pricing your product at and what you're showing as aspirational and what you're showing imagery, if there is a mismatch, customers will not look at you even once. I mean, you can get an initial success, but beyond that, you're not successful, because at the end of the day, people will look at you as a very cheap price product, right? In a space where you're talking about a very aspirational category. So I think those are the very, very important things. These are basics of digital marketing, I would say. This is very important to do. The next and very important slide is, sorry. Ashish, I think you'll have to stop annotating because it is not letting me go to the next slide.
What shall I do, Srinathji?
I think you're annotating, right?
Yeah.
No.
It says Ashish Nahar can annotate, so I think you'll have to just stop annotating.
Okay, I will stop my video and then get back again.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Ashish back? I'll continue anyways. I think this is another question that I want all of you to, kind of look back. What is my current marketing stack? It's very, very important that I have not mentioned the price here at the bottom, but it starts with the price. It goes to product attributes, it goes to messaging channels, and then it goes to channels. I think that's very, very important. I'll with one example, but I think what is important here again is that in digital marketing, what happens many a times that there is this tendency to kind of give multiple messaging because you're saying, okay, I am on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm somewhere else, here, there, everywhere. There is a tendency to kind of try and give multiple messaging for the same product. I think that's very, very at a given point in time. You can do that at different points in time, but sometimes a lot of brands make the mistake of giving multiple messaging at the same time, which is wrong. And hence, it's very, very important that you always start any marketing or especially digital marketing activity by defining your marketing stack. So you please write down what is your product attribute. For example, you're saying that my product, my ice cream has mango, for example. Is a mango flavored, ice cream. Priced at say 45-50 rupees with a certain kind of packaging that is very, very attractive. It's not a cone, neither a cup, but it's something else. And you've created some kind of innovation. Let me give you one example here. There is this hair oil brand from Kerala. Basically, what they did was they were one of the first people to create like a comb-like thing on top of their nozzle. Have you seen that brand by any chance? Have you?
Yes, Dhatri.
Dhatri, yeah. Dhatri, and there is one more brand also. I think HUL bought over that brand. So they were one of the first guys to do that, and it became an instant hit because there was an innovation in packaging, right? People can just squeeze and use it instead of making it a very messy, hand-based and all of those things. And then they communicated it also really, really well. I think that's very important. So if you have come up with some very, very innovative way to package your product. When I'm saying innovation, I think you can do innovation if you are mostly selling your product on retail shelves. Color, let me give you this tip. Color is a very, very important innovation that you can do. The way color and typography are two things are critical when it comes to today's retail environment, because the amount of D2C brands that are there today, as well as smaller boutique indie brands that are there today, you look at their packaging, brilliant packaging, very youthful, very colorful. I think people have realized that color and typography, and this, I think this is not just true for today, but I think we've been doing this for a very, very long time. Typography and color are two of the most important aspects to gain consumers' attention if you're on offline retail. I'm just adding it here because I thought it's relevant. But the idea here is that you define your innovations, you define your product attributes at what price, then you carve out a message. I think this is a very, very important step in digital marketing. Messaging is very, very important. The reason why I'm saying messaging is important is because today there is so much Uh, I, I'm sorry, I can hear some today, right? You are bombarded with ads today, right? You are literally bombarded ad every second you're online, Instagram or something. Color, keep in mind, colorful creatives are very, very important. Do not do clear color creatives in black and white. Avoid black and white as much as possible. Use colorful creatives. Use great typography, and very, very important, use great images if possible. I think it's very important. Digital is a medium. Digital is a very, very creative medium. Digital marketing itself is a very creative context based marketing. But within that, if you're looking at messaging, please use very, very colorful creatives when you're doing something on Facebook or Instagram or any of these social media channels. It's very, very important. I think that's one thing. And have the message very clear. Try and convey your message within 4 or 5 words. Your key headline should be not more than 4 or 5 words. It's very important because we what we are in a we are in a we are in a we are in a state called skip economy when it comes to digital. I call this skip economy because everything can be skipped today, right? Everything can be scrolled or skipped. You can just scroll or you can just skip. So messaging becomes very important. Within messaging, convey your message on digital marketing with just 4 or 5 words. Plus, have colors and typography very, very important. Now, coming to the next level of your stack is the channel. So if you look at it, it's product first price or product attributes for that matter. Then you're layering it with your messaging, and then you're layering it with the channel. Channel is very important here because at the end of the day, you need to define based on your product attributes what channel work. For some people, Facebook works. For some people, Instagram works. For some people, like I have done business to consumer communication on LinkedIn because I know that at the end of the day, the audience had that appetite to consume my message there also. Some of the premium ice cream brands I can actually try out using LinkedIn. As in LinkedIn, there is one ad format called LinkedIn messaging for message ads. You can try that also. So that's a very, or you can try a very simple small display ad also. At the end of the day, even on LinkedIn, people are consumers. When you on LinkedIn, the advantage is that if you're showing non-LinkedIn kind of message, it will catch attention. That's the funda here that you can a B2C company can actually use LinkedIn, but don't spend all your money on LinkedIn. It's a very costly tool, costly channel. But the idea is that try and innovate, try and see what channel works. Channel experimentation is very important in digital marketing. There is no one size fits all rule in digital marketing. You have to look at multiple channels, keep the messaging same, tweak the message a little bit based on the channel, but try and use multiple channels at any given point in time to talk about your product. I think it's very important there. That was the marketing stack. Let me just give you a very generic example of how it can pan out, right? Say, for example, I'm talking about from a product attribute. I'm saying I'm a mass market brand, I'm a premium brand, or I'm a luxury brand. I've taken that as my product attribute. I am layering it with saying that, I'm a mass market brand and price is my biggest advantage. Okay. When I'm looking at premium brand, I'm saying price is an advantage, but quality, I give great quality product at great prices, right? When I'm talking about a luxury or a little more premium brand, then I'm saying my quality is the best. There is no two ways about it, as well as my price. If somebody wants to buy this high quality priced ice cream, let them come to me because I want to charge them premium because my process is great or the kind of ingredients that I use is the best. It's all natural, for example, or it's made of 100% pure products, or it's made with a certain innovative process, and that requires actually, if you're giving a certain quality of product, trust me, people will pay a higher price for that product. Even though the other thing that also comes into play is that when it comes to premium and luxury products especially, how you build your brand or what is your brand also plays a very important role here, because people at the end of the day are not in a category like ice cream, where most of the things probably end up being similar. People are actually buying into a brand, right? People are buying into an experience. Say, for example, somebody shows Kareena Kapoor, or somebody shows Saif Ali Khan, or somebody shows, something else, somebody else, say Amitabh Bachchan or Shah Rukh Khan or whatever. People are actually buying in a category where where the differentiation is very very less, right? The other way to look at it is, you build your brand. Brand doesn't get built in 1 or 2 quarters. It takes about anywhere between 12 to 14 or even a lot more quarters to build a brand. But the idea is that if you are able to consistently build a brand over a period of time, trust me, people will end up buying that brand and paying a higher price. So, and it works very very similar. And if you take this learning to digital also, it works in a very very similar way. Say for example, if you're a mass market brand, ideally you should be advertising on Facebook. You advertise. So as you remember in my first few slides, I spoke about somebody like Chingari. So basically, Chingari is nothing but a Indian version of TikTok. Please advertise there, because the kind of people that are there are, from a marketer's perspective, I can tell you that there are price conscious audience that are there available on that kind of platform. And obviously, in-game advertising, somebody who's using Ludo and all these places, right? Ludo, one of the biggest things with Ludo is that it's one of the highest rated games in the world today, highest followed and highest played. The other thing that is happening with Ludo is that it's mostly played between about 8 or 9 in the night to about 11, 12 in the night, right? And it's a captive audience. So I'm just giving you an example of Ludo. I'm sure your media agency will come back to you and say, you know what, it's not just about Ludo. There are many other games, but in-game advertising is becoming a big channel for a lot of B2C consumer brands who want to get into digital. So what I'm saying here is that if you're a mass market brand, if your biggest USP is price, consider these channels. I mean, there are a lot more channels, but considering the audience today, I'm just trying to kind of give you a very overview of what is possible in today's digital marketing scenario. The second, for premium brands, for example, you can definitely use Instagram, but use Instagram very smartly. Don't just try to sell product there. Try and talk about what the product does to you. The kind of, try and use influencer marketing, for example. Influencer marketing is a big deal in Instagram. Then obviously use Facebook, but use Facebook's. See, within other thing that I want to tell you here is that within all these channels, right, there are different kinds of ad formats. Say, for example, in Facebook, there is a single image display ad, then there is a video ad, then there is a carousel ad, all these different kinds of ad formats, right? It's not about just channel, it's about the ad format also that you choose is very, very important when it comes to B2C product, and especially in your category, because like in a carousel ad, you can actually tell a story of, or you can show 5 different products, or you can show a variety. With your video ad, you can actually tell a story. With a single image display ad, you can tell a very specific quality of your product, right? So at the end of the day, as I'll go back to the previous slide, which I said that the messaging is important. So when you're defining your messaging, keep in mind that there is only certain kind of ad format available for that particular messaging. So I think that's very, very important. Digital marketing is a little complicated. It's not as easy as it looks from outside. But once you get a hang of it, saying that how you create that message and which channel do you use to push that message and how you can make that, I think that's when it starts working for you over a period of, say, I think anybody with a little knowledge of how marketing works can pick up digital marketing very easily within about a couple of months, and within 6 or 8 months or about a year, you will exactly know what messaging works on what particular channel. I think it's very, very important in digital marketing. There is nothing else other than to say that a particular kind of messaging will work on a particular kind of channel, within a particular channel, what kind of ad format. For a luxury product, for example, now there are a lot of OTT platforms. like Hotstar, Z, Instagram, Hotstar and Z. Costly affair, but if you are able to afford it, please do it, because the reach that these OTT platform gives is far higher than, say, any other platforms. So I think use that. I think that's what I wanted to talk to you about regarding the marketing stack and how you can use that marketing stack to, kind of come up with a plan, digital marketing plan for your particular brand. Going forward, some of the things that I wanted to, kind of bring in. So we've seen marketing stack, but what more can I do? One is messaging, right? The other thing is what more can I do? So when I was, looking at doing some research on brands, what other brands are doing, what other categories are doing. See, there's a lot to learn from other categories also. It's not just about ice cream as a category, but there are a lot of different categories innovating at a different level, right? Of course, online delivery is becoming very, very important. If you're a premium brand, I'm sure for a premium brand, for a luxury brand, online delivery makes sense because economies of scale make sense. I am not very sure if you're a mass market brand whether you should go for online delivery or not, because whether unit economies work, whether economies of scale work, that's something that you need to decide. But I would say restrict yourself to create great messaging and use the great platforms to send that messaging. And if your primary distribution is through retail, I would say use digital marketing to send that very, very focused message to your focused audience. I think that's very important. Concentrate there. But if you're able to afford, and if your unit economics and if your economies of scale work, then online delivery is a very, very important channel today. As I said, let me go back again. I said that, work from home tendency has increased. You have to now look at convenience of a customer along with the safety. And customers today are feeling safe to interact with delivery partners or delivery companies rather than they themselves going to a crowded retail store. So online delivery is definitely there. Swiggy, Zomato, all these guys are definitely there. But I have noticed one thing. I think a service like Dunzo is there literally in every city in a different avatar, in different brand. Use Dunzo very, very smartly to, kind of create or do a deal with the Dunzo and try and create that entire, delivery platform, because it's very important that you do that. The other thing, I think it's possible. The other thing that I would suggest here is that in a lot of one of the things that are happening in digital marketing is that people are moving to we ourselves are we are moving to being a subscription economy. People are buying everything on subscription, from board games to from board games to from underwears to monthly groceries. So everything is becoming a very subscription based. So if you are able to afford to deliver based on subscription, because when you say subscription, the economies and the operations, the ops becomes completely different. If you're able to do it, please do it, because there is a huge market for subscription today. And I'm sure there is a way, and because there's a way to deliver your product. I understand it's a cold chain product. There is some bit of ops-led issues, all are there, but I'm sure there's a solution for every problem. And I feel ice cream as a category or commodity, there's every chance that you can make it into a subscription based product if you're able to afford it, because you know that as a family, let me give an example. In my house itself, my mom loves eating ice cream, and she has a very particular flavor. She loves vanilla ice cream because and we make a lot of sweets. So vanilla literally goes with gajar ka halwa and jalebi and jamun and everything, right? So she loves having ice cream with her sweets, and we literally have ice cream all the time at our house. I was just imagining if there is a way that, okay, every 15th there is somebody delivering me bar of vanilla ice cream my place. It's a great service to have. I will pay that extra 30, 40, 50 rupees, whatever is possible. More than that, what is happening is that with subscription, you're locking that customer. I think that's very important. There is very low chance that until unless you give like a very bad experience, that's the advantage of subscription economy, that brands are using subscription to lock that customer into using your service again and again and again. I think that's one advantage. So if it's possible, try subscription, but online delivery is a must. Within online delivery, I would say Dunzo and the likes of Dunzo. Like I know for sure in Pune there is some other service that is available similar to Dunzo. I think in Gurgaon, Delhi, NCR, there is very similar service available like Dunzo again. Please use those services. I think overall you need to keep in mind today people are going to stay at home. How you reach the customer, one is obviously through messaging, but give them access to your product also at home through subscription or online delivery. It's a great way to lock in your customers, build that loyalty towards your brand, build the loyalty towards your product. And trust me, once it goes into one family, I know for sure my mom goes whenever her sisters are at my place. She kind of talks about she serves this ice cream and then they also like this ice cream, and then they kind of go. So it not only does that, it creates like kind of a viral effect also. So that's what I want to talk about, how to use marketing stack to your advantage and why it is important to define messaging and the channel when it comes to digital marketing. I think that's very important, and you've seen I've tried to illustrate that in the last 3 slides. Before going to the next slide, I think all I want to say is that with digital, right, as I said, it's it's complicated, it's vast. There are a lot, and when it comes to digital, sky's the limit, right? But I think I've picked out 3 very relevant things here, which might be relevant for you guys. One is messenger bots, or what we call as conversational commerce. And it needs some bit of coding, it needs some bit of work on your website and all of that. But at the end of the day, what essentially you're doing is you are creating a message, right? And then you're creating a message and then you're sending that customer online to somewhere, and that somewhere can be your website where they can buy, or that somewhere can be somewhere else, to just point out to a retail store, point out to say that, what, my product is available here. You can do in digital marketing, the biggest advantage is that every geography, say for example in Bangalore, you can do a separate, you can just target Bangalore, and you can just target Bombay, and you can just target Pune. So all these things are available. That's the advantage of digital marketing, right? With messenger bots, what you can use, once somebody lands on your website, you can always say, what, my product is, you can do 2 things. One, you can say, what, you want to subscribe to my service, or you can say that, what, you can go to the nearest place possible available. You can just point him to the nearest store that is available. A lot of brands have started using this because, again, yours is a more retail. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Srinath.
Yeah, you can hear, right?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
You can continue.
Yeah. Sorry, a lot of brands have started doing this. A lot of so this is basically what we call as offline to online or online to offline connect. It's very important. If somebody still wants to go to the store and buy and look at your packaging and look at everything and buy, please send them to the nearest store. Or messenger bots is a great way to share your brand's information, the flavors, the pricing, everything you can share here and convert that customer right there. At least convert him in his mind. So I think messenger bots is one of the ways to do it. It's called conversational commerce. The other thing that you do is on your website itself. Why am I focusing so much on website? At the end of the day, when you're sending somebody from digital, there has to be somewhere where they're landing, right? And the easiest place to land them is your website. And hence gamification can be a great tool, giving out vouchers, giving out coupons, using it as a referral program. Again, a lot of brands have started using this in India as well as outside, because people at the end of the day have realized that they don't want free ka 250 rupees voucher. They don't want 50 rupees ka off. Those are the days that have gone. There is a gamification layer, it makes that much more interesting for a customer. Okay. The third thing is deal sites. When I'm saying deal sites, I'm not talking about the sites where you generally get that raffle based coupon, right? It's not that. So go check out Vantage Circle. Vantage Circle is basically a site where about 8 lakh corporate customers are there. This is a company called Vantage Circle that has built this database of 8 lakh people of IT, 8 lakh IT people. And they sell different kinds of vouchers. So you can basically, it's a very, very focused audience. You should go and check it out, Vantage Circle. It's a corporate deals site. Again, there also you can give vouchers, but that's a better environment to give deals than somebody like, say, a Groupon. I'm sure you've heard of Groupon. So somebody like a Groupon, I think it's almost shut now. Somebody like a Groupon or some other, very random deal sites, please don't do that, because if until and unless you're not a mass market brand, don't do it. If you're a premium or luxury brand, try and go to these very particular deal sites like Vantage Circle, or for that matter, MyTopri, which has little more branded deals that you get there. So, see, at the end of the day, on digital marketing, as I said, it's vast. It's somewhat complicated. It's just that you need to figure out, using the marketing stack formula, you need to figure out which of these things work. What is my end goal based on my brand philosophy or based on my brand? Which of these things work for my particular brand? All these things may not be good for everybody. Maybe one of these things might be good for a particular brand. Maybe one of these things is possible for a particular brand. But please try and start experimenting, on different digital channels, on ad formats. Try and bring, I would say, within your marketing team, have somebody who specializes in digital marketing. It's very, very important. Today, without a digital marketing specialist, it's very, very difficult for a senior marketing person in your companies, in your team, to run, because, as I said, it needs a focused approach. It needs that kind of attention that is required. These are the basics that we should do before trying to create big digital marketing plans and all of that. These are something that I always tell people on whenever I'm talking, saying that get your basics right first. Then you can always see at the end of the day, it's proportional to the kind of money that you have. Digital marketing, because I have spent crores on digital marketing. I've done deals on digital marketing on very big media agencies, all of these things. But the idea is to start basics, make sure your basics are right. Some of these things are already there in place, and then take it from there. Coming to last few slides, this is something that I was very kicked about, and I want you as an organization, ICMM, to look at it, the possibility, the mutual fund Sahi Hai model. As a category, ice cream needs a push in today's times. Why not follow the mutual fund Sahi Hai model? Mutual funds as an industry came together and started this campaign, right? Mutual fund Sahi Hai. Now, is there a possibility? I will leave it to you guys. But if I'm personally kicked about this, can Ice Cream Association create a campaign to run on digital channels, particularly showing the joy of access to ice cream, using the entire mutual fund Sahi Hai model? You come together. I think this has worked beautifully, especially in US and all that. All these associations come together. In Canada, there is Maple Honey Association. They very less brands advertise there, and it's an association based advertising. At least they do it very, very systematically at different points in time. So see if that is possible. That's left to you guys. But this is something that I'm kicked about, that as a category, when most of the things are very same and similar, is there a possibility for you guys to follow a mutual fund Sahi Hai model? All right. One last bit I want to leave with you guys, and this is my final slide. Don't do digital marketing because your competition is doing or some other category is doing. It is completely dependent on your brand and product proposition. As I've been harping about, messaging, what your product is, if it is relevant, really relevant. If you're a mass market, low price brand, is it really, can I just use Facebook and not other channels? Because as I said, it requires a lot of effort. If required, concentrate only on one channel at a time. Don't try to do multi-channel strategy all the time. Once you're mature, once you spend 2-3 months, or once you spend 2-3 months or 6 months doing digital marketing, then start doing multi-channel strategy. Till then, I think try and concentrate on one channel for a long duration of time, understand what is happening, and then move forward. And last but not the least, brand is at the end of the day perception and a function of what person can afford. Truly, I think that's what it is. For some, Nike is a brand, and for some, Bata is a brand, right? I would end my slide saying, be what you can be, right? Don't try to be somebody else. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. If marketing is done well, every brand can succeed. If digital marketing can be done well, every brand can succeed. And this is the last slide that I always show to people, that be what you can be. Don't try to be somebody else from a brand perspective, especially from a brand perspective. I think that's what I wanted to communicate to you guys today at a very macro level. What is possible in digital marketing, how to use a marketing stack, and why it is important to use a marketing stack. Yeah, that's about it. Any questions?
Yes. Anybody have any questions for Srinathji?
I took almost. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Lovely. It was lovely.
Yes.
Srinathji, I have one question.
Yes.
How is this digital? How can you make the OTT platforms relevant for regional players? As in, our brand is not relevant to the whole national audience, but to a very small part of the country.
Yes.
So can you do geographic targeting on OTT platforms?
Yes, you can. You can do. See, there are on OTT platforms. There are 4 or 5 different targeting options. Based on, say, for example, I want to do it on Hotstar. They have geographical targeting. They have age-based targeting. They have one of the advantages with OTT platform is that they have already built cohorts. Say, for example, somebody who uses taxis, for example, somebody who uses premium product, somebody who uses credit card, somebody who uses. So they've already built these cohorts within their system based on the usage parameters of different audiences. And when you go to, say, for example, Hotstar, when you take their slides or deck, they will give you all these information that it's possible to do at a regional level.
Thank you.
Srinath, I had
Yeah.
one query. See, I just want to know how helpful is digital marketing to convert into sales? How is it possible to find out?
As of now, see, there are 2-3 things that you can look at. So, which is your right brand?
Yes.
Do you have some kind of analytics built into your system?
No. So see, I'm just trying to ask you that a lot of times we do a lot of promotions on Facebook as well as Instagram, right?
Yeah.
We do paid promotions.
Correct.
So I want to know how useful are those paid promotions? How is it possible to find out those parameters?
And that's why I asked you what kind of analytics you have in the backend. Right now, from a channel perspective, there are you will get only numbers like reach, frequency.
Yeah, exactly. That's all
right?
I get. That's all I get. Yes.
But what you essentially need to do is use a analytics layer on top of it and see what is happening at each page. So I think there is some bit of analytics that is required. See, most of the brands today run digital campaigns for simple frequency and reach campaigns only. Like rightly you said, unless you have an analytics layer and all those digital campaigns are linking to a particular website, there is still that gap between measurement versus what you are putting into the digital marketing. That is definitely there. But with better analytics, it is possible to measure each and every action on digital. Like, for example, let me give you our own example, right? I am part of a company called Instacart. Now, how do I track what is happening? How many people are coming to my website? How many people are booking, right? So there is something called attribution model in digital marketing. What you need to do is build that attribution model from your message, starting from your messaging to at the end of the day, what is happening on your website. And there are some UTM parameters that are passed and all of this. So there is some technical requirement. Let me give you a very simple example. How did it happen before when there was no digital? You remember those days when there used to be ads in newspaper and say, "Ye coupon code cut karke leke aao hamare store pe." That's nothing but attribution model, right? So very similar things you can do digitally today. You can attribute each and every action, what is happening on Facebook. What are you doing particularly when you're running these Facebook ads? Where are they landing today? Deepa. Sorry, I can't hear you, Deepa.
Deepaji, please unmute yourself.
You're on mute, Deepa.
Please.
Srinath, could you just repeat the last question, please? What did you ask me? The voice got cut off.
When you're running all these paid ads, where are they
Yeah.
landing today? What is happening? What is the action that is being taken?
I mean, see, ads in the sense we are just whatever product we want to concentrate on, right? So we do a product concentrated ad and we just push the ad. That's all that we are doing, which we share on the page. And the presence of wherever we are.
It's not paid ads. You're saying feeds on the feed. You're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, even
So
in the
that's all
feed,
we are doing.
even
Yeah.
in the feed also, you can create an attribution model by linking it somewhere else.
Okay, fine. No, because I just want to know more insights in this, So it's going to help me a lot for all these digital platforms. So I just wanted to clarify.
No, so
that. Yeah.
at the end of the day, there has to be an end somewhere where that audience comes, right?
Yeah.
Right? With today, what is happening with TV and all these things, there is no end, right? You watch on the TV and you have to register in your mind.
Correct.
With digital, what is happening is that you can click on that particular ad and land somewhere.
Yes.
The entire thing, what he does
Correct.
after landing, right? All these things. So that's why I asked you: is there an analytics platform somewhere?
Yeah, actually, right now, yes, there is a team that is coordinating for all this. So
Okay.
I just take care of the overall thing. And there is a team that takes care of all this. So I'll have to just have a word and come back to you.
Sure. Because attribution is very important, and today digital marketing that's the biggest advantage. Attribution.
Because see what happens, Srinath, even when we are doing this, when I ask my team, like how much part of it converts it into sales, are you able to give me that analytics? They are not able to. You got my point. They are not able to get.
Understood.
Yeah.
It's about that's exactly what I said. Digital is a little complicated.
Yes.
Because some bit of technical knowledge is required.
Yeah.
And hence attribution model, putting that entire attribution model is very important.
Okay.
Before you set out to do any digital campaign, like where it is going to land, what specific action that person is going to take once he lands. Is there some offer that is being given there? If he clicks on that offer, is it recorded in my system? So there's some bit of technical knowledge that is required, but it is possible. With digital, it is possible with the attribution model that I'm talking about. And there are hundreds and hundreds of tools, SaaS-based tools available in the market today, which can get you these very minute details of each and every campaign. Google Analytics is a very simple tool that you can use offhand, but there are a lot of better attribution tool that is available in the market today.
Okay. And one more thing what I found out is Instagram is more for the younger generation. Okay.
Yeah.
So the moment I have some offer running saying that there is a competition and you're getting a free ice cream, there are a lot of clicks and hits and participation.
Correct.
So I feel the Instagram is more for the young generation where everything is available for free. And Facebook is our generation where people have the capacity to spend. So I always prefer that that Facebook is a better platform for our kind of a generation who can spend on it. So
sure. I'm sure that's the insight that you've got after running a lot of campaigns, right? So I agree. That's why I said so. It has to suit you, your brand. At the end of the day, there is no one size fits all. Please do not copy somebody doing something else.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It doesn't work in digital, especially. It doesn't work at all. You will burn your money like left, right, and center.
Exactly.
Okay, so I don't recommend. Don't copy somebody else. Just do what is working for you.
Right. Thank you, Srinath. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. I hope I answered that.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem.
Anyone? Yeah, Ashish bhai.
Yes. Anybody has any questions? Sudhir bhai?
Also, Srinath,
भाई
completely. Is there?
Yes, Deepaji. Yes, Deepaji.
I can hear.
Yeah, no, I completely agree to Srinath when he says that, your design should be as per the kind of premiumness that you place it in. Your designs and whatever you said, Srinath, is very, very valuable for us,
Use, I think it works. See,
Yes.
color. We see at the end of the day, you need to understand one behavior, right? One human behavior. We are attracted to colors. A big science, and it's a beautiful science. I love
I
science.
completely agree.
I love the science behind typography and
Yes,
colors.
yes. From fonts to
Right.
colors to
Yeah.
premiumness, it's a wonderful combination. Yes,
Yeah, so
I
I think-
completely agree.
All the new age brands. If you see Raw Pressery, for example,
Yes.
if you see Bira uses a monkey
Yes.
as a
Monkey and and the other side of the B, I mean the inverted B. So that's the eyes that you catch on, I completely agree.
Raw Pressery clean. They show more of the product.
Yes, yes.
Their font is very clean and neat, and when you put it on the shelf, it's very nice and neat.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's where I think as a consumer also we are also moving towards consumer behavior is also changing. More
Correct.
more presentable, more colorful kind of a scenario.
Yes, yes, yes. Anybody
I
else
think,
can yeah.
Sudhirji and Ashish, I think one of the points Srinath said, about what we can do collectively, that's also a point I noted down. See, because I think whenever I talk to across the country, everybody is struggling with revenues here. And the initial fear about ice cream contributing to, corona is actually gone. So maybe it's time that all of us got together and did something so that the category, ice cream as a category, can improve in revenue. Any general suggestion that you can give or Srinath can give? It's what we can promote on social media.
I think at the end of the day, what is you need to get deep down, right? What is ice cream at the end of the day doing for a customer? Is joy, right? खाने में मजा आ रहा है,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think tap into that particular emotion, the emotion of joy, and create a campaigner. That's what I want to say. And go crazy. I think a collective campaign, you will have a lot more money to spread the campaign around than having small money, right? If that is possible, please do it. I think joy,
Yes.
the most carnal of emotions is joy, right?
Yeah.
Most basic of emotions is joy. So if you can capture that joy, I remember one of the ads that you remember that whole Cadbury ad where the girl runs onto the cricket field
Yes. Yes, yes. 15 years back, I think.
15 years back,
Yeah.
right? So it was a great example of how an entire consumer was built with just one ad. So chocolate consumption was only for kids. That was the understanding. With just one ad, Cadbury made sure that chocolates became relevant to adults also. So you should try something like that. Today, people, you have to redefine this entire category, or probably try to figure out a new consumer. Try to figure out a consumer who's sitting at home. Try to see what works for them and probably come up with a campaign for somebody who's sitting at home for 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours on his desk. Can ice cream become your desktop companion?
Yes.
Can
I think I agree with that. I think we can create a message like make ice cream the symbol of the optimism towards the future.
Yeah.
The burst is behind us, the corona is behind us. Now let's face the future with joy, with ice cream,
Yes.
with celebration. That kind of messaging, I think we can work out.
To all kinds of experiences, right? As I said, one can be, that it can be your desktop partner. You're sitting there, you just eat. Or when I'm having this call, video, if one of you might be eating the ice cream also, right? Right? Combine these two experiences. Try and see what is that basic consumer emotion that you can tap into and create a campaign around it. And if not everybody together, you can, as a brand also, you can do this.
Yeah, I think as an association, if we do it, it will have more credibility. Yeah, we can chat about that after the conference.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can do that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Srinath.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, anybody, any questions?
No.
Yes, yes. Shall I, Sudhir bhai? Sudhir bhai, shall I?
Nothing, man. You can give the close note. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, thank you very much, Srinath ji.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
There's a question. There's one more question.
Manufacturers Association for this very informative webinar on best practices and micro approach in digital marketing.
Yeah.
As you rightly said, Srinath, that people are using the internet for more than 4 to 5 hours in a day. And that is the most important and very relevant mode of advertising right now, from the
Yeah.
traditional print media and the hoardings which we used to see some
Yeah.
years back. Now all the digital network have been accessed from the customers.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. There are many takeaways from today's informative session from of yours. And the most important thing for me was that you gave very good examples of Chingari and Bulbul from the traditional ways we use as in the format of Facebook and Instagram, and also the module like Sahi Hai of mutual funds. We can definitely think over it and get a combination of all the associations for promoting the ice cream. So खूप खूप धन्यवाद आपले की आपण आलात आणि आम्हाला इथे.
Yeah. I hope some bit of it is at least useful for
अपेक्षा
you guys. Yeah.
करतो. Thank you very much, and all of you for attending this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.